Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Chapter 5 of Wake the Dead. And this chapter, again, another chapter of Wake the Dead, another feeling I had that I was actually not reading just a book, just hanging back, but I was actually part of the action or maybe watching a zombie movie or something. It was epic. So we start off, we're coming back to our lodge, which I named after, I think, Survivor's Lodge. And we see horde of zombie going after that, and we made some important choices in the last chapter that would affect the story, not in a big way, but still would have some, you know, impression on some dialogues later. But now we need to deal with the zombies. So we go in there and we see Dirk and Cassidy and Mac, they're over there trying to hold the zombies from attacking them. But then, if you got the multi that weapon, I think matchet or something it's called, and you will get to use it a lot to stop the zombie attacks and gain some points every time you kill a zombie. So that was some interesting action, but you'll get all your love interest there and your three friends. But what would be more interesting this time? We encounter our typical zombies, the same looking zombies attacking us, but all of a sudden we'll see a new zombie appearing, and it's not the usual zombie, but they have their tongue out in a weird way, and they can run at a inhuman speed. Of course, they're not human, but the speed they have is faster than any zombie, and they made a sound, and it seemed to attract more zombies. So every time it will come like a bull toward us, our group will scatter from its way. It will go back, it will come again to attack us, and in its wake, and the sound it made, it seemed to attract all the zombies from other side. So it will go on, and we will need to stop it somehow, and also we'll need to take down the zombies it brought. Then it of course depends on how premium scenes you have taken, or how many weapons you had, and how did you kill them. But one thing will happen, that Mac, I think, will stand in front of it the final time it will attack and will not be able to move, and suddenly Cassidy will jump in front of it and push Mac away and will take the blow. And the obvious happens, and the description of the scene and the music combined, it was as if I'm seeing in front of a person dying, or like fighting with her death. It was one of the amazing scenes choices, and I think it was, to me, I don't know what it was, but I felt it was more harrowing and more emotional than when we lost our sister, because we see the new zombie tearing its claws into Cassidy, and we know that the third rule, if you get bit, you get put down. So that would have to happen with Cassidy. But Cassidy also manages to give it a final blow, but we'll need to finish it off alongside with the other zombies with we'll blast them away. But it's also a premium scene. You will give Cassidy the thing to blast up the new zombie and all the other zombies attacking them, and herself, and in the way giving her the death she deserves. Now here's a drama. I saved Angel's parents, but if you don't save them, there's a conversation that you need to kill Cassidy, right? Because she's been infected, or it will happen. So Angel will say, if you kill Angel's parents, I think the conversations will go like this. Like, Angel will complain, why are you, when my parents were on the line, you didn't hesitate, why are you hesitating now? So there will be some interesting conversations there. So do let me know what else happens throughout the story if you killed Angel's parents. Now I brought Angel's parents back, so there wasn't any complication in terms of that, but it was really sad to see Cassidy dying, even though, if you give her the death she deserves, like a warrior's death, that would be really good. But then you, in another premium scene, you get to take the new zombie with Shannon and Dirk inside the lodge, and you see that Shannon will do some experiments. So that'd be interesting. And the description, Dirk will be almost disgusted by it. And it was really like, tearing apart zombies and learning about them. We can also either like join Dirk in his whining like, oh, this is disgusting, or we can take part in it. Now I thought it was really interesting, so I took part in it with a glove in hand. But we saw what Shannon told us. We were trying to see if this was a mutated zombie, because this zombie looked different than all the others. So we found out it was missing some organs, but it didn't have any different blood sample or whatever it had left. So nothing was different, and its vocal cord, it had something in it that seemed to attract more zombies. But we knew one of its weaknesses, that if we attack the chest portion, I think there it is missing a lot of organs, and we can, if we don't get the head, if we attack that portion, we can slow it down. And so I think it's gonna come in handy in the future battles. But then I go back to the main room, and they sort of having a conversation and just lounging there. Then we will introduce our new member, Angel, to everyone. That would be a nice moment. But also Angel's parents, if you brought them there. So Angel will say, I have brought parents, but then she will say they're zombies. So there will be some complications. Dirk and others won't be really easy about it, but things will not get that tense, and you can lighten the mood up. Like Dirk, I think, will play something on the keyboard, and then you get to dance and have a, spend some time. You will see Ellie and Ellie and Troy playing some game, and Troy challenging Ellie, so their competitiveness, and you will also get to participate in this diamond scene. And you'll also see a movie that Angel and Shannon were watching. I think it was really interesting, and the music that played, I think it was also in the shipwreck finale, if I'm not wrong. But that was a really interesting music. I think it was Dirk who was playing on the keyboard, and the music they played, I don't know where it's originally from. If it's from, I don't think it's from Wake the Dead, but I could be wrong. It was an amazing music, and then we get to dance with one of the love interests. I was thinking, who would I dance with? I was thinking Shannon and Ellie, but then for some reason I ended up with like, let's have this dance with Troy, and like he's this cocky, this rogue behavior, and his sense of humor. So I was just gonna see where this leads. It was an interesting, he was still like his annoying jokes, which we all love. It was an amazing scene. I think we should have given the option to at least dance or have some moment to talk with all of the love interests alone. But anyway, this was an interesting point. But then we go to the next bit, where we're going for some other kills or look for other survival stuff, and then we are seeing that Angel's tummy is growling, and so is our. So we say that we only eat once in a day, and that's the dinner. So we thought that if it were breakfast, it would have been better, because we were hungry then. And then we see that Shannon was not ready, and she was like having some, her head was spinning and she was weak. So we think that we would drop her off at the lodge, because if we carry her in this hunt, she will only slow us down, and if some zombie attacks us, it would only get worse. And Ellie, without any sugarcoating, explains that fact. And then we bring Shannon back, and then when we come back, we see there is a strange looking guy in our lodge who is ready to offer us food. So I think we get really excited, like this kind of a guy is there. So the guy looks like a hippie, like Angel herself, and she has a different vibe, like, I don't know, she looks like a philosopher or something, like, who has been through a lot. He looks really cool. I can't remember his name, something along the lines Flower or something. I don't, but he seems like an interesting character. So he offers his food, but also there's a but string attached to that. that we need to help him with his colony or some problem that we need to deal with. So I think that's where it ends, and we're going to pick it up from next chapter. But I have a feeling that this guy is going to be more to the plot. And remember how we already lost Cassidy, we lost her sister. So we need to have some allies, like we need to have some allies, we need to have some soldiers. So I think if we help them, we'll get the food, and we'll also get some backup plan and fighters to fight against the zombies. So we'll see how that goes. But also in this chapter you get to decide on some other choices that I'm going to list as you recommended me in the last video. So here we go. So the choices I made that had some impact. First of all, I chose to give Cassidy a death that she deserved, a fighter like death. And then also in another scene, you'll get to increase your like build another facility in your survivor's lodge. This time I went for fortification. So there were two options. One that would increase our moral, like how we want to build, or do we want to renovate our lodge, or do we want to like sort of build it into something that would be useful. So I went for fortification. Well, it would be useful and effective in case zombies attack us, instead of just going for moral. And let me know what you guys chose there. And I chose to take the new zombie inside and perform research on it with Shannon. Shannon did the research work anyway. So we learned some new details about the zombie, that how it can be killed. And now even less days are remaining for the solstice when the main thing is going to take place. What else? Also, we're still a newbie, but we increased some of our fortification and other points at the end. So that's about it, this chapter. I did feel like if you didn't take like the bonding scene and taking the zombie inside scene, the chapter was a bit short, but it didn't have any steamy moment or hookup scenes or filler scenes, to be honest, any filler scenes. So it was action packed. So even if it was not that big a chapter, it felt like a really long chapter because it had action in it. So much emotion, so much action, so much stuff happening. It was really good. Let me know in the comments, and I'm glad that they included new zombie. I hope this means more. Like, also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but when we were researching on the zombie, we can conclude that maybe it's a human made zombie. Like, maybe someone tempered with the previous zombies and this is made in a lab. I think that would be a really good thing, like, because remember Blackstock did the same thing, like when the prisoners were there, he did something that attracted the zombies toward the prisoners, so the zombies eated them, and the zombies seemed to be attracted to that noise, and this new zombie did the same thing. So maybe there's a link, maybe it's human made, maybe Blackstock had something to do with it, or maybe someone else. We will know more about it. Let me know in the comments your choices, your thoughts, your opinions about this chapter 5. Whack the Dead is rocking this year. It's amazing. It's like I wait for every Thursday for this book. This is an absolutely amazing book. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, peace out.